too much mercy often resulted in further crimes, which were fatal to innocent victims, who need not have been victims, if justice had been put first and mercy second. A mother's love for her child is like nothing else in the world. It knows no law, no pity, it dares all things and crushes down remorselessly all that stands in its path. Dogs are wise. They crawl away into a quiet corner and lick their wounds and do not rejoin the world until they are whole once more. An archaeologist is the best husband a woman can have. The older she gets, the more interested he is in her. But surely, for everything you have to love, you have to pay some price. It is the quietest and meekest people who are often capable of the most sudden and unexpected violences, for the reason that when their control does snap, it goes entirely. Hercule Poirot. One is left with the horrible feeling now that war settles nothing, that to win a war is as disastrous as to lose one. Very few of us are what we seem. It is a curious thought, but it is only when you see people looking ridiculous that you realize just how much you love them. I like living. I have sometimes been wildly, despairingly, acutely miserable, racked with sorrow, but through it all I still know quite certainly that just to be alive is a grand thing. As life goes on, it becomes tiring to keep up the character you invented for yourself, and so you relapse into individuality and become more like yourself every day. I suppose it is because nearly all children go to school nowadays, and have things arranged for them, that they seem so forlornly unable to produce their own ideas. Instinct is a marvelous thing. It can neither be explained nor ignored. You gave too much rein to your imagination. Imagination is a good servant, and a bad master. The simplest explanation is always the most likely. Talk and tea is his specialty, said Giles. He has about 5 cups of tea a day. But he works splendidly when we are looking. I am not mad. I am eccentric, perhaps, at least certain people say so, but as regards my profession, I am very much as one says, all there. It is clear that the books owned the shop rather than the other way about. Everywhere they had run wild and taken possession of their habitat, breeding and multiplying, and clearly lacking any strong hand to keep them down. Mr. Jesmond made a peculiar noise, rather like a hen who has decided to lay an egg, and then thought better of it. When the sea goes down, there will come from the mainland boats and men. And they will find 10 dead bodies and an unsolved problem on Indian Island. An appreciative listener is always stimulating. Tea. Bless ordinary everyday afternoon tea. Most successes are unhappy. That's why they are successes. They have to reassure themselves about themselves by achieving something that the world will notice. I live now on borrowed time, waiting in the anteroom for the summons that will inevitably come. And then, I go on to the next thing, whatever it is. One doesn't, luckily, have to bother about that. To care passionately for another human creature brings always more sorrow than joy, but at the same time, Eleanor, one would not be without experience. Anyone who has never really loved has never really lived. I did not deceive you, mon ami. At most, I permitted you to deceive yourself.